Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Hadassa, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Welcome to Real Talk Corner, where conversation sparks change and every voice matters. I'm your host, Dr. Esther Cruickshank, and joining me, and I'm so elated, is my co-host, Hadassa Charles McLeod, on this very beautiful Tuesday. Listen, it's the 10th of March, people, in the year 2026. And, I am so happy to be here. I am extraordinarily tired. You ever hear that word before? Extraordinarily tired. I am. I'm feeling to sleep. But people, we are here. We can't do this without you, without our viewers. We want to shout out all our viewers tonight, the ones who are on all the time and comment and say what they have to say. And, I want to take this opportunity before I bring on my co-host. I want to take this opportunity to wish all the women in Trinidad and Tobago and around the globe happy belated International Women's Day. It was on Sunday, and we really want to pray and hope that you all had a day of introspection, a day where you were able to search yourself and think about what you supposed to be doing as a woman, what you have done and what you're about to do. I mean, we have a great responsibility in this life. And, I want to talk about the excitement with our Prime Minister later on. But let me give my co host the opportunity to welcome as well and to bring her greetings. Hi, Hadassa. How was your day, girl?
Hi, people. Good evening, Esther. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It's great to be on. I had a great day. Thank you for asking. Um, Guys, doesn't my co-host look lovely? She always looks so lovely as we trying to keep
Thank
up
you,
here.
girl. Thank you.
Yeah, but I want to join you as well and send greetings as well to all the women of Trinidad and Tobago, all our grandmothers, our mothers, our sisters, our cousins, our aunts, our friends. Happy International Women's Day. Um, Life would not be what it is, communities would not be what it is. We would not be who we are if it was not for the women in our lives. I spoke recently about the fact that my grandmother turned 100 years old on the 27th of February, and I was just thinking about the impact that her alone has had on generations of people. So, women are very important, and this year's theme was Give to Get. And it really kind of speaks to the essence, really, of womanhood, that selfless nature that women have, that giving, you give of yourself, you give of your time, you give of your family, and you're hoping to reap connections, you're hoping to reap networks, you're hoping to reap happiness and memories, and things like that. So we will talk more about our prime minister specifically because I really want to honor her today because she is the epitome of womanhood, and I felt really proud seeing her stand with all the men from the Latin American countries as the sole woman. And I was just thinking about how remarkable she is, her character, and what she's doing to carry the torch for women in the Caribbean, in CARICOM, for Trinidad and Tobago. So, yeah, it's great to be on, and I'm really excited about today's show. Back to you, Esther. How are you doing?
I had a wonderful, busy day, and thanks for asking. But you know what, Gil? I'm so excited. But let me say this: there was other women standing, but Hadassah, they were not shining as our prime minister. You hear? It looked as though there were no other woman, but she looked so brilliant. She looked so radiant. I mean, I felt so proud to be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, seeing her standing there. You know, all the negatives that those who had to say said, it doesn't matter. Look how radiant and glorious she looked in that beautiful outfit. can't wait to see her back in Trinidad. And not only that, she went there, she did so much. So much was taking place. I mean, come on, this woman was commended in so many different ways. And I am proud, like you said, she is a I mean, she is one that you can emulate. She is a woman of class, of standard, of principle. She has the heart of gold, the heart after God. All these things can be contributed to our Prime Minister, our Honorable Prime Minister. And I'm happy that, I am a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago just because of her, if nothing else, because of the stand she takes, because of, her integrity. People could say what they want, but Hadassa, I must say this. Who is Penny to ask or to want to be, informed about what the Prime Minister was going to do? When Small Pin and Rowley was going away, did they inform anybody about what they was going to do and what they got? The only thing I remember he telling us is that we need to eat what? Yam and dashing. We need to ban our bellies and eat yam and dashing. Was it? What information they used to give us that she could stand up here and talk about not getting information and not being a part of? All you forgot, all you didn't used to make the opposition be a part of anything. Let's hear her.
How does that make you feel as leader of the opposition?
Well, I mean, I'm really not surprised. I'm really not surprised that the Prime Minister or the government hasn't consulted, because you are aware that on assuming responsibility as leader of the opposition, when I took my oath, I made it very clear about our willingness to collaborate, to work with the government as it relates to legislation. And I maintain my position that we all know that the country expects the government and the opposition to work together, especially in areas as it relates to crime. And I am still maintaining my position as it relates to my willingness to work with the government. We are willing to support good legislation, and we expect that the government will recognize that we have the right to criticize, we have the right to recommend, we have the right to represent our constituents as the legal opposition.
You said today you had office day in Arima. Were any concerns raised about the SOE, or what would this?
So, listen to me, people. Penny just talked about, she made it clear that they were willing, their willingness to support once it is good, a good whatever. Because I don't know, the willingness they're talking about is to badmouth everything this government does. Everything the Prime Minister does, Penny and her clowns, they are willing, quite willing to badmouth and criticize everything that the Prime Minister and the government has done since April, well, not April, but May 2025 to present. They have criticized probably one or two things they probably support, and it still wasn't with good intent. So she's standing up there and talking this crap for who? For the standard, no, not even standard, for babies who don't have no understanding. Because I have not seen this government giving the opposition, giving this government a break. Everything that was done, she had a problem. She want to be consulted. Penny want consultation. Just think about it. What you want consultation to do or to say, to be able to criticize? You all bring this country down to nothing. You all need to get I think sometime last week they walk out of the parliament. Well, I find all they should stay out of the parliament, because we really don't want all your negative vibes. Okay? You see what is happening? It's a lot of positive. With the only honorable Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago could do. Nobody else could do what she has done and what she is going to be able to do for this country to bring back the economy. She is going to bring back this economy second to none. Okay? Better than it ever was before. You all have no shame. You should be shutting up your mouth. Go and put your face down in some sand and do not speak. We don't want to hear you. Those of you who are angry and still feeling whatever, pain that you lost your job and whatever. Remember, we lost our jobs in 2025, in 2015 too, you know. And listen, all you took much longer before we could send all you home for doing all the wicked things and fraudulent things that you all have done. In 2015, when the PNM won, in 2 weeks, those of us who had contracts and whatever, they was just sending letters for us. They didn't care whether we had mortgage. They didn't care whether we had our children to send to school. They didn't care whether we would lose everything that we have. All you're still lucky. And because our great prime minister say, when UNC win, everybody win. That is why some of you are still there where you are. And you know what? Even when you move out from the position, I am certain that you're going to get back something. But all it have no shame. And I'm talking about Penny and the clowns and them with her. You understand? All they have no shame whatsoever. None whatsoever. Look what is happening. They're not giving us a chance. They're not giving this prime minister a chance. It is not even 1 year. What consultation Penny won? None for you. You will hear and see as it comes. Nobody want to hear anything you have to say. Well, let me don't say that. It have people, producer, who want to hear what she have to say, okay? But surely the masses of the people really don't want to hear.
You know, um, I was waiting for them to come with a crocus bag of nonsense because I knew it was coming. It is expected. Our prime minister does something, and then the PNM choral follows quite predictably. I don't know what Penny is talking about. I'm trying to understand what she meant. Is it that um, they wanted to be notified of the prime minister traveling, or they wanted to collaborate on this initiative with the other Latin American countries? Because she's lying. They do not want to collaborate. They don't want to work with us. Because if that was the case, then the Zoso bill that was also aimed at reducing crime, they would have considered it more and it would have passed. And they were all too happy to strike that bill down. So the prime minister said that she was going to use whatever was in her toolkit, whatever resources um, she had available to her, and this opportunity presented itself. And so she took it and she said she was going to do whatever she needed to do to keep the citizens of this country safe. Hence this move. I don't think the PNM is interested in such. I remember Rowley saying to give him a break, to give him a break. Oh, he have a country to run and to give him a break, and who dead dead. While literally our citizens were killed in the streets like dogs by the hundreds, while our borders remained open, while the criminals had us under siege, while we were living in fear. So I don't know what type of collaboration she was talking about, and I'm so fed up of the PNM always having some nonsense to say without um, what should I say? Because none of it feels, you could criticize something, but it could be constructive. None of it seems as though it is aimed at being constructive, or it's aimed at really trying to bridge the gap, or aimed at really having collaboration. It is none of that. Meanwhile, our prime minister, whenever she travels, her focus is Trinidad and Tobago. She speaks about Trinidad and Tobago. She speaks about her willingness to collaborate with whoever would work with her in terms of making our country safer, and what other initiatives that could come out of it. I also saw that there was going to be I think I'm jumping ahead. Sorry, but I'll get back to that. But all of her talks has been focused on Trinidad and Tobago. And when she goes, she doesn't go for long, and she doesn't go ramaging all over the United States and spending the taxpayers' money. She goes, she is focused, she makes sure she use her time. She speaks to as many leaders as possible about collaboration and about working together and common interests and things like that. And she comes back home to Trinidad and Tobago with a lot of good news and a bag of goodies. And for me, as far as I'm concerned, that is performance. Kit Rowley used to go and talk about getting yam or something from Ghana, which did we ever get it? All these things, and he would go for his medical checkups, and he would go and he would stay for a long time and talk about, you know, he doing the business of the people. I don't know, because none of those trips yielded any good. They didn't yield any good for our country. Whereas in the 10 months that the UNC has been in power, we have measurable results. We can say that from when she started to now, that crime has been reduced by 42%. That is a metric that you can actually measure, that you can actually feel the reduction in crime and everything that follows as a result of it. So I am so tired of Penny. I'm so tired and fed up of them, and I think it's really time for them to to sit down and to shut up. Back to you, Esther.
Time for them to wither. It's time for the PNM, the Propaganda National Party, Movement Party, to wither away like leaves in the air. It's time for them to do that because we're telling them, shut up, listen, learn, and they're not taking heed. And that is who they are. They just want to criticize and badmouth everything that is there working for the people, the citizens. Could I say as well? We are seeing the place, the communities are being cleaned up. People are working. Young people are getting jobs. People are working all over Trinidad. I'm driving, and you are seeing the savannas, the playgrounds, all these places are being cleaned up. It's only a matter of time before the masses of the people who were there and get laid off from CPEP and URP, the fraudulent contractors who was operating and all about money. It's only a matter of time before all those persons are, back on their feet again. They forgot that it took us 10 years. So many people suffered, lose their businesses, lose nearly everything, lose their homes. Listen, if they want to talk, they need to talk something else, okay? Because what is happening now, the people are out there working. It have no 2 hours going out and work. People are working for a good 5-6 hours, getting a good salary, thanks to the Minister Khadija and, of course, the Prime Minister for doing an excellent job. And they have started it and it will continue. And I'm saying to the young people who are out of job, do not go and put yourself in harm's way. Don't go and say you're going and sell weed because you don't have a job. You was in the city corporation and now you're not there. Go back and ask them. Put your name down. Let them know you want to work. Just know it's not no 2 hours and 3 hours work. You have to work for your money, brother and sisters. You got to work for your money. It's not no easy fly by night thing. So let them continue. You know what? After a while, nobody's going to be studying the PNM. How many years they have been in this country, ruling this country, and look where we are today. You would think that in 2026, we should have been way gone past a lot of other countries, but we wagging behind. And now our Prime Minister, our wonderful, brilliant, bright Prime Minister, have to go now and seek ways to bring this economy back. But trust me, it's going to happen. She's not a woman who sleeps. We like to say, God don't sleep. He might put on pajamas. Well, he don't do all of that. But our Prime Minister, she don't sleep. She don't even put on her nightwear, right? She does be on the go because her goal is to ensure that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago become owners of this beautiful country and are happy to be called a citizen of this country as well. So I don't have any care about what the Propaganda National Movement talks about. I know it have people who still feel some allegiance to them, but soon and very soon, all that will go. When they see what is coming for them through the United National Congress government, I am sure that they will not even bother with what is taking place. They say we have our 9 days memory. We have short memory. Once things start to go nice, they'll forget about all the pain. It's like a woman being in child labor. You want to die, but as that child come out, you're happy, you're joyful. Just a matter of time. It's not a year as yet. We are still approaching the year. We still have what, 2 months to go? March, April, 2 weeks? No, 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 no. It was April the 20. What was the election? The 28th. Yes. We still have a whole month and we have about 6 weeks before we make a year. And things is going to happen. We have plenty to celebrate on that very week. Hadassa, we have a lot of things to share because Trinidadians, most of them, they just forget. So we would remind them what took place for the past year since we have been in government.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, I need to go back to our Prime Minister's trip. She was honored with her very own day in Lauderdale, Florida. In Florida, they call it the Kamala Prasad Visesa Day. That um, particular area in Florida has a lot of Trinidadians, Trinbagonians. And it just reminds me of how many persons we lost in droves, how much brain drain that our country and our economy suffered um, under the PNM and at the hands of the PNM. And Trinidadians have gone to different parts of the world, but specifically in Florida, they have gone and they have really integrated themselves into the community in such a way that it is quite notable. A lot of them are very successful business people, entrepreneurs. Their children do very well. They live very good lives. But the people have very, very deep ties to Trinidad and Tobago, deep love for Trinidad and Tobago. Most people who leave Trinidad and Tobago, they don't want to leave. They've left because they felt unsafe. They left because they wanted more opportunities. They wanted to increase their quality of life. And that is something that in all the years that Keith Rowley was prime minister, those were things, that was a phrase that he never mentioned, quality of life. And Kamala Persad-Bissessar is intent on increasing the quality of life of every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, right? So when she was being honored, she was in talks with the people as well. And again, her focus was on Trinidad and Tobago, wanting to strengthen the collaboration between the diaspora and Trinidad and Tobago, which would mean if it is whatever skills that could be used and that could be put towards strengthening our economy or improving our society and things like that, all those talks were taking place. And this is outside of the Shield of the Americas summit. So she was making connections with other countries, but she was also making connections with our people, which is also very important when you think about people wanting to come back home eventually and how they would be reintegrated into our society. And I feel like for the first time in a long time, people are starting to talk about the possibility of coming back to Trinidad. And we need to think about how good that would be. People who have lived abroad, who have experienced what it is to live and operate and navigate in a first world country, and what that knowledge and expertise could do for our country. So I think that she really used her time wisely, um, to make sure that these things get done. And I'm really, really excited about what lies ahead, because like I said, there has never been another prime minister who has been so concerned about improving the quality of life of every citizen. And I really want to commend her, because in that way she really has a kind of very mother-like quality. It's only a mother that's be so concerned about each and every one of her children. You want to make sure all of them do well and that they have everything that they need and they're good at school and stuff like that. That type of care, that type of intimate care, it's really something that is really admirable. So again, I want to tell her thanks and kudos and well done. Back to you, Esther.
Want to say thank you our honorable Prime Minister. We want to say kudos. We want to say congratulations. We want to say well done. We want to say how much we appreciate all that you are doing for our citizens and especially our children. Hadassa, remember when the PNM came into power and they stopped the what you call the laptop program for the children. I hope parents are remembering all of these things, and that when COVID-19 came into play, what took place because children didn't have laptop, and those who didn't have the money to afford one of those devices, children were out of
They just
school.
fell
we
behind.
have we have a whole generation that is missing in action for those parents who didn't have money, to send their children elsewhere or to get special attendance, attention with their schooling and so on. Those children were out of school, wasting time because their parents didn't have the resources to be able to buy the devices for the children to study. That was for 10 years. And as soon as our Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Visesa, SCMP, came back, that was priority. She wanted to ensure that our children, I mean, what is more important than getting our children who are, low in poverty state to be able to get back a laptop, get something that they can retrieve or get into the system again. So many fell out of the system because of what the PNM did. You all need to remember that. There were no school. They did not even, they did not even do renovations or anything. I can talk about Londonville Government School that was burnt down. Those children are still in an inconvenient position in the Edinburgh 500 regional complex that was built never, really was installed for the people of Edinburgh 500 to use. And I spoke to some parents, mothers only last night. Some of them, 6 children, 6 different schools. Finances is really tough for them to send their children to school because based on the standards, these children are in different schools. Think about it. But there is hope for those children who were attending the Londonville Government School. I know that the Minister of Education, together with the Prime Minister, is going to look at what they can do to bring that school back to, a condition where the children can go back to school there. And this is the PNM. They don't care about the children's education. This is why the former Prime Minister could have said what he said. He didn't care. All you go and eat dashing if all you could get it, yam if all you could get it, ban all your belly, put belt around all your waist, okay? Forget about eating macaroni pie and callaloo, said another minister. They did not care as long as their friends and family were in a good position to send their children wherever to get their education. They didn't care about the people on the ground. This is why they turn and they come out now to say they're working with the poor people or the people on the ground because we take away CPEP and URP. You had people living abroad and collecting, their name is on the roll to collect a salary from CPEP and much more than that. What it is, you all don't understand? Listen and you will understand where the PNM was taking this country. If they had come back in power, I am telling you, listen, what Rowley said, some must die. If you have to die, you will die. Some have to get richer for what? The poor to get something. I don't know what these people think about, but they have no clue as to how much people are suffering who are on the ground. But you know what? Our Prime Minister knows what is to be down and out and moving from here to there. She spoke about it. So she understands the cry of the man on the ground who doesn't have. And this is why she will always be a woman, a mother, a woman of compassion, a prime minister of compassion who wants the best for our citizens. And I salute her for being who she is. And I pray that her ministers will take a page out of her book and they will try to follow her footsteps so that things is going to get better for the people on the ground. Just remember, it's the people on the ground that dip their finger in the red ink when come election, not those who have. They don't care about voting. Okay, so let us remember these things. We must not forget. And I think from the first week in April, Hadassa, we're going to start to roll out the things that has been done under this government from the time they came into power. We need to remind the citizens. We don't want them to forget, or else they will make the same stupid mistake that they made in 2015.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, as I think actions speak louder than words, because the PNM would say one thing, but their actions prove very different. They know that they are failures. They know that they did not do a good job because our healthcare was in a mess, and that is why Keith Rowley had no confidence in it, and he used to fly all the way to Los Angeles to go and see his doctors. That is an indictment. Nyan Gatsby Dolly always wanted to talk about education. She was the education minister and she had no confidence in her own ministry. And that is why her children went to private school, right? And Keith Rowley again, none of his children even live here. What does that tell you? Your father is the prime minister of the country, and yet still you cannot eke out a good enough life or the type of life that you want or pursue the kind of things that you want so you don't live in the country where your father is prime minister. Think about that. That is an indictment. That proves that they were failures, that their policies did not work because they did nothing again to improve the quality of life of citizens. They did nothing to improve healthcare. All they were doing were giving contracts to friends and families, literally gouging taxpayers and having things like medication going missing and overpricing these drugs and things like that. So the PNM could just shut up and sit down and look at the way that Kamala Prasad is bringing international positive interest to our country. Rudal Manilal coming outside of the recent energy conference in Guyana, he said there is massive international interest in restarting our refinery. Global players from Saudi Arabia, Africa, and the United States are officially at the table as interested parties. As well, since the prime minister attended the summit as well, Chevron is coming to the table. They want to have conversations about doing business in Trinidad and Tobago. And he also announced as well that this is maybe a little bit bittersweet, but since the start of the war between America and Israel and Iran, that we have had an increase in revenue of US $4 million. So this is what it is to be led by competent leaders, by people who care about moving our country forward, who care about progressive policies, and who care about making sure that in 5 years we could definitely say, oh, we definitely not where we used to be. We may have ways to go, but it would definitely be a market difference from when she took over from the PNM administration. And it's enough to be excited. It's a lot to be excited about.
Okay. And while we want to continue, I want producer to play a clip that will make you laugh, Odessa, but it is a serious thing. I really, let's look at this clip. No, I understand it has gone viral, but that's so when I saw this, I laughed, but I was sad at the same time. Now, there are many factors that can be read into what took place. I don't know how it started, But a couple of things I want to say. And when the Prime Minister spoke about Trinidad being a lawless dump, people was angry. No, I have a different twist as well. No, we have the lawless ones, but then sometimes these men in uniform does really aggregate persons. We are going through a lot of depression, financial stress and strain. The guy is supposed to be a maxi driver. We don't know what took place, but for anybody to react in that manner, there must be some kind of situation to
That
frustrate the
was the
hell
last
out of
straw.
you, right? It could be many different things. It could be that they just aggregate this gentleman. We don't know his situation financially and otherwise. And these things, provocation could cause you to behave in that this way because somehow police officers and licensing officers, some of them, not all, and sometimes not all the time, could really do things to piss people off. And sometimes the kind of draconian, the kind of the manner in which they want to put fines on people, and sometimes they could just give somebody a warning or just talk to them. Sometimes you miss. Let me tell you something. As focused as I just be, sometimes there was a time I broke a traffic light, and let me tell you something. If the person wasn't sitting in front there with me and pull out the light on red, but I had already gone through. I had something on my mind, and I just, it's like you saw the red, but like you just, I don't know what took over. And accidents could happen like that. And I believe sometimes accidents would have happened in a case like that. We have citizens and law, these men who are supposed to carry out the law and all of that. We have to use wisdom sometimes when we are dealing with these people. We don't know what they're going through. I'm not saying that what the gentleman did was right. In no way am I saying that, but I'm saying that we could be a little more humanistic, some of us as officers and in authority to deal with situation. You have to, I guess I don't know if they are trained to be able to discern certain things with people. That man get on as though, well, whatever it is, I really don't care. I could go to jail. We don't know if he had food to put on the table for the children. We don't know what. And he probably tell him, man, if I go in jail, I go get 3 square meals. We don't know what it was. All right. I laughed and I saw it was serious. But for someone to behave like that, who is driving a maxi, because I understand he's a maxi driver, it has to be a level, some form of irritation, frustration that caused him to behave in that way. And we have to think about what we are doing for those of us who are in authority and dealing with these people who, I mean, it is sad. It is just sad. And I wish I knew the whole story.
I mean, I think from what I saw, it's almost as if they were trying to confiscate the vehicle because I think they took his the keys for the vehicle. So it's not like he could have moved it. I don't know what the circumstances were, but I agree with you. I think um, I would like to see a lot of reform take place in our country in terms of these people who have these type of positions. They really, really need to improve in terms of customer service and the way that they serve people. Um, because that guy looked like it was the last straw. He was having a bad day, and he looked like he'd trip off. And also, it's 3 or 4 of them against this one guy. It looked like he they were ganging up on him, and he just decided not today. Or you're not taking my maxi, or you're not taking my bread and butter. You're not taking my livelihood. And yeah, he went in the maxi, and I think he take out his spanner or something. And it's really not funny, but it is hilarious because sometimes you could be driven to such extremes. So yeah, I would hope that this video would reach the Minister of Transport and Aviation, and that he would get a hold of his licensing officers. And I don't know if it's for them to engage in some training, um, because I think that all of them could do with some improvement improvement in the way that interact with the public, not just licensed officers, police officers. I think the only branch that is not problematic as far as I'm concerned is the TTFS, and they also have their share of challenges. But I hope that that guy, whatever it was, that it would be resolved. Um, and when you see people going through, sometimes it's just to remember to pray for them. And this is an opportunity as well, that wherever we see gaps in terms of service and interactions with the public, that we could improve, because we could definitely better. You don't know what day you're meeting somebody on, what is their situation. You don't know. So I really find that definitely some training could be had there. Okay.
Yeah, they must be able to maneuver in a way that will not create these kind of, um, alarming
Problem.
kind of situation. And again, sometimes when I look at these things and you watch the officers and them, I don't like to say this, and some people detest me saying these things, but they PNM. All you see is PNM, okay? Because this is how the PNM treats with people. The training, oh gosh, man. I mean, look, he pelting and this one, if you know how to, and some of them, they talk to you as though you're a little puppy on the ground. These officers, they need to be retrained. We need to take out the PNM from in them and put civilization, put people centered. You understand? Put some sunlight in their eyes, in their heart, because they do things that really, could really be done in a different way. The way they think, to me, is how the PNM, this thing is from way back. It's like a real cult that's still running this country. No compassion, no way they want to, this guy, most of these maxis, when you see an African person driving a maxi, most time it belongs to somebody else. They have to make the money for them and then make money for themselves. They have to make money for the owner, put gas, and then to get for themselves. Sometime at the end of the day, after they're working all day, they come with a $200 in their hand. What could that really do? And then you have these, I mean, I am saying if they're breaking the law is a different story. And sometimes the officers need to talk to these people. If they never had offense, I think it's time for us to have our computer system where people, the police officers could see whether it's the first time something happened or whatever. Sometimes it's innocence. I know people going to say, well, they break the law and whatever. We don't know what really took place. And I'm saying, I hope by God's grace that was sorted out, because clearly these are matters that can send people into, mental situation where they just trip and all this kind of thing. And then you have the scenario where people go into to witchcraft and do people things for things to happen to them. And that's a lot of crazy things that's happening out here. And this is why it is important for individuals to pray and do what is necessary to protect yourself from the evil foes that is around, because you have evil, wicked, evil eye people who doing your stuff. Then you have, it's just chaotic sometimes. So we have to learn to pray and do what is necessary to protect yourself. That's all I can say, because it's not everybody have faith to believe that when you pray unto God with a genuine heart and you understand who you are and your purpose, nothing could touch you. It have those who you have to do certain things because, listen, people gonna mash you up. I know some leaders, when they hear me, they may say otherwise, but I'm saying the truth because I counsel people, I deal with people, and I know what goes on, right? There's so much wickedness in our environment, so much wickedness in this world today, that we being genuine, there are much, much, much people who are not genuine. They're out to destroy you, to see you fall on your face. Maybe because you said something or you do something, they don't like it. They will go the breadth and the length to bring you to your knees, I'm telling you. Because it have those who try behind me, but all you can't succeed because I know who I am. All you can do what all you want, it doesn't matter. And I encouraging people, pray and do what you have to do to protect yourself. Don't go doing anything to damage anybody or to bring anybody down. Do what you have to do to protect yourself. And that is what I am going to say. Who like it? Who don't like it? Suck it up.
Indeed, indeed. Um, well said, well said. I don't know if we have that clip, but I had sent a a clip about Nyan Gatsby Dolly talking about all the children who end up in school fights and stuff like that, that all their parents are PNM and things like that. But it just reminded me when you spoke about um, the training that a lot of our public servants received. It really was under the PNM, really was under the PNM, where the PNM did not set any expectations, did not set any um, standards in terms of how these people in their role should treat with the public, and it has definitely trickled down. So we have set no expectations or standards for our children in the school. These children now become employed in different industries in different parts of the country, and then yeah, you meet it all the time, you meet it every day. And it's people who, if you really think about it, at the heart of it, you need to feel sorry for them, because you can only live what you know. You can only do what you know. They don't know any better. And it really is time for our country to have a complete and total overhaul in terms of how we do things, which is why everything that is happening is so exciting. These are everything that is happening. It's not for us to shrug it off or to take it for granted. Kamala Pasabi Sessa is literally pulling this country from the abbots, from the pits, literally, because we were left behind, literally in a backward state. So everything that is happening in public administration, in terms of AI transformation and payment system and any type of computerization or automation that is taking place in the different government offices. It is about time we were left behind, you know. So I'm hoping that while we are doing these um, needful upgrades in terms of the technology that we use and the equipment that we interface with, that the people as well, the people's attitudes and the people's trainings will also undergo some type of upgrade as well. Um, because it will not bode well for us. Julian John spoke about the revitalization plan, and she was speaking specifically as it pertains to crime. And she was talking about, if you want people to come to your country, you want people to come to your shores, you have to deal with the issue of crime, because you want people to come and be able to go out at night and feel safe. And she was speaking in reference to the national security campus that would be built. But also, as well, if you want people to come to your shores, we need to do a better job at tourism and customer service, and we need to do a better job in terms of delivery and ease of business and things like that. So we have a lot of work to do, but I'm so convinced that this UNC administration is up to the mark and up to the challenge, because they are always working. Every time you look, every time you see them, and I was thinking people would say, why did you just put everything on camera? Because you have to show people that you are actually working. I saw where Julian John met with Roger Alexander to get work done in the Tunapuna area, right? That was very early at 5:30 in the morning, right? I can't remember the last time I see a PNM MP work that hard, and not just hard, but so consistently, or consistently working hard towards the goal of making Trinidad and Tobago a better place. The job is hard enough as it is. It is arduous as it is. It is um, challenge is with us having to also deal with an economy that we are trying to jumpstart, and dealing with limited resources and things like that. It's a hard job, and the most that we can do is to not add to the burden of the job by complaining and finding fault with everything. That back to you, Esther. I was sticking.
Well, I think you are
They're
sticking,
keeping to that
Hadassa,
night.
but like news just came to me that the guide's name is Rondell Bowen, and he has been detained at the St. Joseph police station. I really, really wish I could have gone there tomorrow morning and lend some assistance. And I trust that somebody somewhere with a good heart is going to go and rescue him, because I am certain he needs counseling. I don't know what the charges are going to be, but I really pray God that Rondell Bowen is going to see a better light after this whole incident. And I am sending out a call to anyone who is listening and can go and intervene. Please do so. I have an appointment for tomorrow, so I really wish I could have gone tomorrow. I don't know what is going to be the situation on Friday, which is my only time off, but I would keep him in my prayer, so that whatever it is going to work out on his behalf. And that's it is challenging. You talk about Julian John, and yes, there are a lot of hard-working ministers and individuals, officers in the United National Congress government. They are working so hard. I always admire my sister Julian John, Minister Julian John. I mean, she is not no spring chicken, but that woman have energy and stamina more than some men have. And she's a hard worker. Not only is she a hard worker, she's a smart worker. She know what she's about, and I really appreciate her as a woman and as a human being, and as a minister, MP, and the work that she is doing also in her constituency and around Trinidad and Tobago. So these people, we need to keep them in prayer. All those ministers that work hard and are genuinely working for the citizens of this country to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place to live, a secure place to live. I want to say that the good Lord sent his angels to build a fence around them and to protect them. The stigma of the propaganda national movement has been around for a long time. It has become cultish, and it is hard to get it out for a lot of people out of their system. From a very young age, I had a serious problem with going and voting for them. But when you are in a home and in a family that all you see and read and smell and eat is the P&M, it takes a lot for you to make a decision to get out of it. You have to be brilliant, you have to be smart, you have to be your own thinker in order to make a decision to move away and to go to another party that you see and believe will make a difference. And in doing that, you are chastised by your family, you are ostracized because, hey, let's be real. As an African, you go in and vote for them, coolie. I know people don't like to say it as it is, but that is how it is. And I guess the other side is the same thing. I don't know. But I am saying we need to have our own mind. We need to think for ourselves. We need to see and make our own observation and assessment and really know for a fact, because I talk to a lot of young people and they're saying that they know, Hadassa, that the PNM did nothing much for them. Some of them would have gotten certain things because their grandparents was there, and but what they got and nothing is the same. When you compare it to what the 1% have and what even some other people have, as an African citizen, you really ain't get nothing much. And it have Indian citizens as well who haven't really received what they worth. But you know what? I have made up my mind. After God, it is the United National Congress under our Prime Minister, the one and only Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisasa. So I know things is going to change. It's going to get changed for the better, not for the worse. People could say what they want. There are a lot of people, and you know what? I'm happy, Hadassa, that I'm not a friend person. I don't care about friends. I always say, and I have been saying this for years, God has the last say over me. And whatever God says, is what I welcome. What people want to say, they can go to hell. Say it. I don't have to preach on your pulpit. I don't have to sing in your assembly. I don't have to do any of those things. If God ordained me to do something, He's going to make a way for me to do what He wants me to do. Because at the end of the day, our life is owned by God. We belongs to God. He could decide in the next minute to take His breath away from my lungs, and I would be no more. I would be history. And we forget that after God, then we can move on, and we have to trust God. And this is why I always gravitate to our Prime Minister, because in good times, in bad times, up and down times, she always would say, put God in front and walk behind. And I see that as something that will always allow the sun to shine before her. And the opportunities is going to come for her to do what has to be done for the citizens of this country, because she always put God in front and walk behind. And not only that she put God in front, she loved the people of Trinidad. She loved her country, Trinidad. She loved the children of this nation. She loved the citizens, the senior citizens. She always talk about them. And I appreciate her. Hats all to this woman. May the good Lord continue. I salute her. The good Lord will continue to guide her and give her the wisdom that is needed to make a difference in our society. God bless her. She's a great example. I don't care what nobody else said. She is a great example. She's not perfect, because none of us are perfect. The only man that walk on this earth that I believe, in my opinion and based on the scriptures I read, that is walk perfect on this earth is Jesus Christ. And she is next in line. You understand? Because she tried her best to do what is right for the citizens, more than even for herself, for the citizens of this country. So I want to say thank you. Hold on. All right. Well, some news just came, but I can't talk about it. But we would see, expect some great news tomorrow, God's willing. And if you hear something that is out of the ordinary, know that is what we were just, we were just talking about. Okay, there are certain things you can't talk here, but I want to say to all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and around the globe in the Caribbean, please try to be what God would want us to be on the earth, our brother's keeper. Try to be nice to one another. Try to be a brother's keeper. Help where you can. Where you can't, if you can't, you just can't. But let us show love. I know some people rub us on the wrong side sometimes. And I tell you, when people rub me on the wrong side, really on the wrong side, I just give them distance. I don't want to have anything much to do with you. I ain't doing you no bad, and I ain't saying nothing much, but I don't want to have anything to do with you. But let us continue to pray for our Prime Minister, and please pray for the opposition too, because they need healing in their mind, body, and soul. They need healing all over because something is wrong with them. So pray for them, because I think they're being used by a group of people that is very senseless sometimes. So let us pray for one another. Let us love one another. Let us be kind to one another as we await our Prime Minister's return to the soil of Trinidad and Tobago, and to get more news and good information as to how we are going forward. And let us pray for her life, pray for her good health, strength, that she would be able to continue doing the work that she is doing. Those of you who don't feel that is what should be done, just shut up and go your way. Have nothing to say, all right? But let us remember one another. Say to your family, love them. Hadassa, I love you. You know that. I love you. And I will continue
I
to
love you
love
too,
you.
Esther.
That bubbly smile. Look here, let us continue to be good citizens, and let us try to keep following the good laws of our land. Be a good exemplar, especially to our young people. And let us continue to put God first, put Him in front, and walk behind. And I know we're going to become who God wants us to become in the future. So, to my producers and everybody who is making this show possible, I want to thank all my viewers, those who put in negative comments and those who put in positive comments. I love you for the positivity. We're going to keep it positive. Those with the negative, I hope that at some point your eyes will be open if it's closed. And if it's open and you're still seeing negative, well, there's nothing I can do about it but to tell you, I still love you because you're on my live. So thank you for being here and have a wonderful week. Be safe. Keep on looking on. Keep on keeping on. Keep on having hope. Don't lose hope. You can lose everything else, but don't lose your hope and don't lose your faith in God that things can turn around. Hadassa, your last words
Indeed.
to the people.
Oh no. Oh, it
Yep.
was a good show tonight. I feel like we have so much more to cover. We'll cover
Yes,
it
we
in
did.
next week's show. But everybody,
Yeah.
like Esther said, let's be kind to each other and
Oh, I
be a
have to
brother's
talk about
keeper.
my Sunday show.
Let's not torment people. Let's not provoke people like those licensing officers provoking that guy with the maxi. Let's be every opportunity we get. Let's try to make somebody's day better and to ease their load. So you guys have a great week.
Yes, and don't forget to join me on Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., where I talk on Real Talk about truth and reality. Okay, I look forward to seeing you join me Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Blessings to each and every one of you. Have a good night. Bye.